I know this is going to come as a shock to many, but we have to correct more of the older millennials' lies.
If they won in a landslide, then why would they have to gerrymander the midterms?
Okay, so let's ask that exact same question of Democrats in 2020. Because you guys won the 2020 election, right? You guys won in a landslide. Biden crushed Donald Trump, right? I distinctly remember, we did it, Joe. Right, so you guys won. So why, in 2021, after you won the election, did you need to do this? Why did Illinois gerrymander to get rid of 2 Republican seats and put a new Democrat one? Why did New York gerrymander for a 22-4 advantage? Why did California redo it to get a 44-3? Why did Massachusetts, Oregon, New Mexico, Nevada, New Jersey? Like, this was all after your victory in 2020. Oh, wait, could it be that after a party wins an election, they then redistrict their maps?
No.
Because now they're in power. It's almost like after every election, people do this. It's almost like when Democrats won in 2020, they did all this. Oh, I can tell you why it feels like that. It's because they did.
A lot to unpack there. First and foremost, I couldn't help but notice that when talking about the Democratic's victory in 2020, you put victory and win in quotes, indicating that in 2025, you still don't believe that the 2020 election was legitimate. Now, we already know that your mind is gone as far as logic and critical thinking, but you would think that in the ensuing 5 years and the 60 plus federal lawsuits and the lawyers that have lost their licenses and the lawsuits that have been won on behalf of the voting machines and the absolute failure of anybody on the conservative right to produce any evidence, that you would give up that bullshit lie, but not you. And we'll get back to that bullshit lie in just a minute. Secondly, no, states do not redistrict after elections. They redistrict after censuses. Every 10 years, we have what's called a census, and we count all of the people in the country, and then every state redistricts, red and blue. So in 2021, it wasn't just blue states, like you pointed out, it was all the states. States like Texas redistricted in 2021. Why? Because we had a census in 2020. You're trying to sell it that if you win an election, you get to redistrict. When we have a census, we redistrict every 10 years. What Texas is attempting to do is redistrict again halfway through the decade in between censuses because Donald Trump asked them to find 5 more seats. Furthermore, you are once again creating a reality that did not exist in order to create content against that reality. We weren't going around talking about a landslide victory in 2020. As a matter of fact, quite the opposite. While people on your side of the political ledger were arguing that the 2020 election was rigged in favor of the Democrats, people on my side of the political ledger were saying to people like you, if we rigged it, why did we only give ourselves a 9-seat advantage in the House and a 50-50 tie in the Senate? Because it wasn't rigged and it wasn't a landslide. See, you have just created a narrative that liberals were talking about a landslide victory in 2020 so that you can argue against that narrative now that you guys are trying to game the system. The only question that is left, Joe, is are you not sick and tired of being known as the biggest lying piece of shit on the internet?